Welcome to this wonderful episode. My name is Isaac Odhiambo, and I'm from Kenya. Today, we're going to be sharing our experiences as foreigners in the land of 1,000 hills. For those who know it, this is basically Rwanda. And as you may be aware, we are in Kigali city. This is the cleanest city in Africa. And in general, Rwanda is known to be one of the safest countries in Africa. Today, I have two guests who will be sharing our experiences together. One is from the east and the other is from the west. And I believe you're gonna be liking the experiences that we're gonna be sharing here today.
Welcome to Rwanda.
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 Welcome to Kigali. For those who don't live here, we, Rwanda, are honored by the presence of our brothers and sisters from the continent.
My first time in Kigali, and each time I come here, I feel very proud to be an African because of the hospitality, the smiles on the face of everyone, and the way people work hard here, and appreciate that we are going to build our own continent. Nobody's going to build it for us. So I always feel very inspired when I come to Rwanda.
Afrika itajengwa na nani? Na nani? Amala. Amala. Intsinzi. Intsinzi. Aluta. Aluta. A Victoria. A Victoria. Thank you, Africa.
Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce you my guests here today. On my left, I have Emmanuel. And on my right, I have Raisa. Emmanuel, would you kindly introduce yourself and tell us which city you come from?
Yeah, thank you very much, Isaac, for this incredible opportunity. My name is Emmanuel Christopher. I'm from Tanzania, and I come from Arusha, which is known to be one of the biggest tourist places in Tanzania. So yeah, my Arusha people, we got this, yeah.
Wow, that is absolutely amazing. Arusha in East Africa. And to my right, I have Raisa. Raisa, kindly introduce yourself, please. Tell us which country you come from and which city in particular.
Hi everyone, I'm a West African. Actually, I'm West Central African, so I'm from Cameroon, and I come from the city of Douala, which is the economic capital of Cameroon. Thank you.
Wow, absolutely amazing introduction there. So from the east all the way to the west, and we're gonna be sharing our experiences here in Kigali city as foreigners. Let me start with you, Emmanuel. How can you briefly summarize your experiences here in Kigali?
So I'll give it maybe in 2 words. I think it has been eye-opening and exciting. Coming to this country, there was a lot of things that I got to hear before coming here, and it's just amazing to see them in real life. I used to hear, Kigali is the cleanest city, and I was like, what do they mean? How clean can a city get to be, called the cleanest city on the continent. So, just arriving here and see the organization of the city itself, I was really amazing. And I'm always mind blown whenever I walk in the streets of Kigali, seeing the organization, seeing the environmental conservation that is taking place here is really awesome. So my experience here have been nothing short of excitement, and I always enjoy each and every single day here in Rwanda.
Wow, absolutely amazing introduction there. Let me go to the West. Raisa,
Yes.
in simple words, what has been your experience been here in Kigali?
Well, my experience in Kigali has been breathtaking because, well, as Emmanuel said, before coming here, I did some research of my own, and I was particularly happy because online I saw that Rwanda was, actually a trilingual country, English, French, and Kinyarwanda.
Wow.
And so Cameroon is a bilingual country with English and French. And so I was kind of like happy. I was like, yay, I'm going to meet people who speak English and French, and I'm going to relate with them. Just to arrive here and realize that even the police sometimes speak only Kinyarwanda. So like it's mostly Kinyarwanda, and there's a lot of language barrier. So like there's a small population that speaks French, and there's more people that speak English, but then the majority speak Kinyarwanda, and so like the language barrier kind of messed with me. And it was actually not very fun for me during my first week because I was arrested for not wearing a face mask. Honestly.
Wow.
Because that happens.
Wow. That is quite amazing.
Yeah.
In your first week in a foreign country, and then you get arrested. This just tells you how serious Rwanda is in terms of law abiding.
Yeah.
And from the discussions that we're gonna be having here today, you will be able to attest that this is one of the law abiding countries that you'd admire yourselves to be. Now, I want to get to you, Emmanuel.
Yeah.
When you heard about that Rwanda is the cleanest city in Africa, what was lingering in your mind?
I just used to imagine basically buildings organized, no trash, no plastics. Actually, most of the time I would imagine a very clean green place with no plastic at all. And I have to admit that mostly I was imagining Kigali to kind of be mostly, tree-filled city. Yeah, so that was then my imaginations before. But when I came here, I just realized that Kigali is just urbanized like any other city back home. Like there's a lot of big buildings and stuff like that. But what they are doing is they are not throwing any trash, right? And they even go they have plantations. They plant a lot of trees around the city itself, and there's a lot of conservation activities. And I got to hear a story actually a few days ago from one of my Rwandese friends, and she was telling me that one time she was driving with her uncle to a place, and there was a guy who was kind of driving ahead of them. So the guy actually threw a plastic bottle outside his car window. And what happened? The uncle did not talk to my friend, but just speed up, went ahead of that car and stopped him and asked him, "Hey man, can you go and pick that plastic?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "What? This can never happen like in our own
in our own countries, yeah?
Come on, like who will do that?" So I think that was really something that I just didn't expect to have such people who kind of abide the rule and love the environment to this extent. Yes.
Wow. Quite a fantastic scenario there. For me, basically, I remember a time when I went out of my residence and I was just walking. And from my country, I was not used to wearing mask. And then I left the residence without the mask. And as I was crossing the road, I just remembered, what? This is a policeman. And I did not have a mask. And I have to run back to the residence to get my mask. I think I had stories about what happens to people who don't wear their mask. You are put in a stadium for a whole night just for not wearing mask, and at the end of it all, you also gonna be fined. Who would want to get that kind of an experience? No one. And that is what makes us to be law-abiding citizens where we have to follow rules to ensure that we are all protected. Right. I think we are having a very nice discussions here. Quite interesting all the way. I want to get you to Raisa. Food is one of the most appreciated things when it comes to the African culture. I want to get some of your experiences about food here in Kigali. What are some of your likes and some of your dislikes?
To be honest, I prefer snacks. Yeah, I honestly just prefer snacks. I eat noodles, I eat samosas, I eat chapati, I eat pancakes, yes, and snacks, sweets, candy, stuff. But food, man, no. As you guys already should know, West Africans are fond of spicy food. We love spicy food. I love spicy food.
Yeah.
And the food here is so numb, like breast milk, pap, fufu. It's just honestly no. I've not had a good experience with food. I just haven't had a good experience with food at all. And I miss home food. I really want to go home so I can eat that spicy food again. But well, I guess for the East Africans, it won't really be a problem. It's not like the food is bad. I'm not saying the food is bad. Just I think maybe the ways in which they prepare the food, as in and the spices they use, the methods of preparation are not actually the same. As in we have cassava leaves back home that we prepare with corn fufu. It's made from corn flour. They do that here too, but it just doesn't taste the same. Like it tastes so differently. Like when I just look at it, I won't even put it in my mouth.
Quite amazing there. As you all know, the West Africans, they are in love with spices. They love pepper. This is quite different when you come to East Africa. And I believe my friend Emmanuel here gonna testify. What have been your experience about food here in Kigali?
Yeah, my experience is very different from Raisa's.
Yeah.
So I've never appreciated a smooth transition when it comes to food. Like the time I arrived in Rwanda, I was privileged to be in another country last year, and I have to admit that I was really struggling adapting to the food for 2 years. Moreover, it was always something new. But coming to Rwanda, I think there's just that familiar taste of food that is there. I haven't really struggled personally. I have my favorite meals already here. I like the matoke, the way it's being prepared. I really love it. But
you even have a favorite meal.
I even have a favorite
Yeah,
meal.
I don't like anyone.
Yeah, so, but one thing just on food, the rice here is good, but I miss home rice. For Tanzanians, I think we can really relate there that, when we come to East Africa and we talk of Tanzanian rice, it's everything. So I really like it. But I love all the foods here, honestly. They have been tasty and they have been replenishing to me. Yes.
Wow, quite an amazing experience there. For me, I have come to realize that one of the foods that I've liked here around is actually isombe. These are just cassava leaves that have been cooked and nicely. And you take it with cassava flour. And I think that is something that I've really liked here in Kigali. Now, Raisa, I would want to know, we have been experiencing lockdowns here in Rwanda. How do you experience how do you tell us your experience about lockdowns here in Kigali?
Okay, so after experiencing lockdowns in Kigali, I literally promised myself I'm never going to catch a bird and lock in a cage again. I'm never going to catch a chicken and lock in a house again, because that is a feeling I got. You know what it feels like to be locked up in the same room, in the same building for days, for weeks, for months without going out. It feels terrible. It's like you're a criminal. You've been arrested and there's nothing. The streets are empty. Everywhere is empty. It's like there's a ghost town or something. And then I have a problem with food. So I tend to rely on snacks, noodles, drinks, milk, And then when I run out of food, what happens? I have run out of food currently. I don't have any noodles left or snacks. And so I'm literally starving. What can I do? There's a lockdown. Well, I get the lockdown is in order to prevent us from contracting COVID and the COVID cases from spreading. But honestly, it feels terrible, like really terrible.
Yeah, lockdowns here in Kigali, and I can tell you it's different from where I come from.
It's so different.
I remember my experience, my first lockdown in Nairobi, and of course, you could experience people still walking within the streets and the like. But when you come here to Kigali, you'll definitely not find people walking around the streets when it is totally a lockdown. Emmanuel, let me hear your experience about lockdown.
Yeah, so I think you guys can be anticipating something very different, given that I come from a country that does not uphold any COVID-related measures, and we have not experienced lockdown. People do not know what it is.
Oh, like seriously.
Yeah.
Even the mask is something so, not so widely used. But I have to say that I just got to appreciate. I think one of the things that I got to do was to appreciate the freedom of going outside, to see value in going outside. It is something that we do all the time: go outside, go to the shop, buy this, do that. But the moment you lose that freedom, I think you just got to understand and you got to realize that it is very important to maximize the utility of the outside environment. So for me, I just got to appreciate more the outside environment. But I have to say it has been challenging also, not being able to go outside when you want to go. But it have also opened other doors, like we've been able to explore other countless online opportunities, connect more with our friends and stuff like that. So I think it has also had a positive upside to that. So yeah, it hasn't been easy, but I've learned a lot.
Wow. As we are currently having this particular discussion, just to let you know that we are currently under lockdown.
Yeah.
And we are not allowed even to go outside.
For how long have we been on lockdown already?
Well, I think this one has been close to 6 days now.
Yeah, but like the first one 14 days, and then the next one was announced for 10 days.
Yeah.
That's like 24 days. We've been on lockdown for 24 days.
Yeah, and I think the experiences that we are getting here are quite amazing. Just to know, here in Rwanda it's called the land of 1,000 hills. And basically, I appreciate that some of my guests here have got an opportunity to actually learn what is happening within this particular environment. They have gotten the opportunity to go to some of the most fabulous and fantastic areas within the Kigali city. I would like to know from you, Emmanuel, which are some of the areas that you have gone into Kigali, and which are some of the enjoyable places that you have really enjoyed here?
Yeah, most of my friends will attest that I am more of an inside person. I don't go outside a lot. But either ways, I was privileged to kind of visit a few areas here. I went to the market, it's called Kimironko. And I have to admit, I love the resonance of the market there and that we have at home. I think like it is just a place that had a lot of things, similar things back home, and I just felt, as a Rwandese, the moment I stepped in that market, I was like, yeah, I'm home. But I've also had a privilege of visiting other areas like Chibagabaga. It's just a place outside here. There's a place also called Nyabisindu, and what I like about that particular place, and that's where my church is located.
Oh, okay.
That place, they have this good arrangement of houses, like the housing there, the roads are clean, and there's just this flow. When you sit from afar, when you stand from afar and look at this place, you'll be like, wow, who designed this place? So I've had quite a number of visits at places around here. Yeah,
quite amazing experience there. Quite beautiful areas that you can able to go into. Raisa, let me know some of the good places you have been here in Kigali.
Well, first of all, unlike Emmanuel, I'm an outside person.
You love traveling.
Yeah, I love seeing places. I love going to places. And well, in order to go to a place, you first need transport method. And so like I was shocked when I discovered that here motorbikes carry just one person.
In our
And
countries, we
before
carry
you
like
climb-
2, 3,
And before
4
you climb,
people.
you have to wear a head tie or bonnet. You just have to cover your head with something. I mean, like a nun. And then you wear the helmet and buckle it, and then you climb and sit on the motorbike. And it's just you. And seriously, that makes transportation kind of expensive. And the motorbikes are so small. Unlike back home. I mean, back home we would climb 4 of us on a bike.
in
Like,
a
what's
single
going
bike.
on here? And the taxis are so expensive. So expensive. Like, starting from 5,000, 2,000 if you're lucky, going upwards. Like, it's, don't even think about taking a taxi. It's just motorbikes and the public buses which you have to register for. And then, well, I've been around the Innovation City area, around Zindiro. I actually like Zindiro. It's more like a, a local urban kind of place with a bus stop and houses, just like back home. So and the market. I want to talk about Kimironko Market. I've been to that market, guys. My phone was stolen in that market.
Well,
When I came to Rwanda at first, there was this common belief and feeling that here people don't steal. Guys, please, it's a lie. There are thieves in every country you go to. Every country, no matter how disciplined that country is, there must be one thief. Yeah. And the market is just like the markets back home where I come from. It's just, open. You can go in freely, buy what you want, come out. And definitely there will be people in such places with itchy hands that can stop themselves. So please, even though this place is so safe, beautiful, and no thugs will attack you on the road and steal your stuff, but just be careful, especially when you're going to the market. And apart from that, I also visited the genocide center. I actually loved it. It was very good. I feel touched that the country decided to create a place like that to keep the history and stuff, to remind the population, because when people actually see that and are reminded what happened, when the children can grow and learn the history, then it prevents more things like that from happening.
yes.
And currently there's a crisis going on in my country, the Anglophone crisis. And I'm like, well, if maybe after a crisis like this, there was always something to remind the people and make them feel and connect with the event, maybe such things would be easily prevented and avoided in other countries. I was really touched. I even cried.
Oh,
Wow, amazing insights here that we are getting. The one thing I can assure you, here there's only the motor riders can only carry one passenger, and you have to be on your helmet. Nothing short, nothing more. It's very clear, and citizens always follow this. I think these are some of great lessons that we can learn. We who are different, who come from different African countries, and try to see how this can be effected actually in our country, right? Now, there's something that I have noticed around where I come from. We have hawkers along the streets and the like. I don't know. Here in Kigali, I have not found any. What are your experiences back home?
Yeah, honestly, back home, we have a lot of these people who kind of walk with their things, will come. They'll even knock at your door and hey, Emmanuel, do you want to buy this? And you'll tell them, oh, I can't afford this today. And they'll say, I'll come tomorrow. So they're always there around the street, and there's just that, movement of them that is very free. But unlike my home country, here in Kigali, it's not there. It's something that I've realized also that, hey, where are these people? But I only found out that they have these designed places for them to just go and carry their businesses. And I think it's a good thing as a city that is very organized to have special places where customers are the one who go to the service providers and purchase goods rather than service providers come to us and sell the goods. I think there is a lot of things around there, but I like it because it kind of keeps the city also the way it is. So yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you are enjoying this candid conversation as we proceed. Let me hear from Raisa. How do you illustrate this? How is this different from what is happening in your country?
Okay, well, yeah, legally it might be good and fair and stuff and good for the government and the growth of the country. But like, well, please, I'm West African. And honestly, no. I don't like the system. Like Emmanuel said, it's same back home where I come from. Like, the hawkers literally come after you. They'll follow you. You'll just be walking on the road and then this guy comes and grabs you and he's like, this trouser, and he's already putting it on your waist. And you're like, no, and he's already wearing the clothes on you and you're like, hey, I don't have money. So, but literally, I kind of like it because it makes those at the market sell cheaper. So when you leave your house and go to the market, you buy cheap because they know that there are hawkers around who are willing to come to you and sell to you. And those ones will sell more expensive. So they sell theirs cheaper because they want the clients. And I love buying things cheap. I love buying my clothes cheap and stuff cheap. I think maybe that's actually why things are so expensive in this country. Food is so expensive, clothes are so expensive. Since I came here, I've not bought a single piece of clothing. And I'm not planning to. I'll buy my clothes.
You're not planning to buy any
I'm
clothes?
not planning to buy any clothes in this place. They're expensive, my God. Like, so if you're planning to come to Rwanda, it's so beautiful, it's lovely, and they have nice clothes, like good brands, but your
You have
pockets
to be
need
loaded.
You have to be loaded. If not, you'll not end up getting anything good you want. Like, seriously.
Just to note you, to inform you, our viewers, there's this quite unique thing that we have here in Kigali and actually in Rwanda. There is no something called second-hand clothes.
Hey,
right?
No Africa. They don't have Africa.
That is why probably you are wondering when Raisa says things are quite expensive here. Yes, definitely. No second-hand clothes here. And that's probably, that is different from what we experience in our country.
See, I bought this back home.
Oh, wow.
Guess how much? 300 francs. Guess how much you buy here? About 2K.
That makes it quite expensive. Every foreigner has probably experienced something that we call culture shock, right? When you come into a different country from where you originate and the like. I want to know how our guests have been managing issues to do with culture shock. Emmanuel, how I know you come from East Africa though, but then this is a different country from where you are from. So how have you managed this?
Yeah, I have to admit that even though I come from East Africa and stuff, as you mentioned, there's still that difference amongst our communities, and there's always that new cultural aspect always of doing things. But one thing I'll tell my viewers is that Rwanda is very conservative, if I can say that. It's very conservative, and people here are very open, like to foreigners especially. There's just that welcoming mode that is there that makes you not feel like you are in a foreign place. So, embracing the cultural difference here for me haven't been so hard, because I've been able to find myself good friends here, especially Rwandan friends, and they have been very instrumental in guiding my experience here and my cultural integration. So I've been integrated, I've learned a few things, but one thing I have to tell my the viewers here is just be open. Have an open mind when you come here. There's a lot of different things that you may agree or disagree with, and that's okay. That's what makes culture beautiful. But you need to come here ready to learn and appreciate what you find here and integrate yourself. But my cultural integration have been smooth, and I say I'm still learning even few words of Kinyarwanda, Murakoze, thank you, and stuff like that. So yeah, it has been a great experience.
Okay, you can wonderfully see how Emmanuel have integrated himself into this Rwandan culture. Let me hear from the West. Basically, how have you dealt with issues to do with culture shock?
Culture shock. How do I define culture shock? Culture shock is when you think you have learned enough Kinyarwanda words to take a motorbike, and then you ask the man, Nangae, and he tells you 2000 in Kinyarwanda, you don't understand what he's talking about. Culture shock is when it's New Year Eve and people are waiting for 12 midnight to start firing shooting stars. And then at 12 midnight, you don't hear anything and you're like, what is going on in this country? Culture shock is when it's about 9 p.m., 10 p.m., the time when snack bars are supposed to be booming with loud music, the time when you're expecting to see people outside going out to drink and have fun, and then you look out and you feel like you're on a lockdown. Like, seriously, those are some of the culture shock I've had. Culture shock is when you realize that the country is so conservative and reserved and quiet and well behaved that you feel like you're in the discipline master's office. Like, seriously. Sometimes you're even scared of walking in a weird way on the road. You're like, these people are going to. You're like, yeah, so like. But then one thing I like is that the people are open, as Amano said, very open, very welcoming. That's one thing I like. Yeah, it just made me feel at home. If that were not the case, I would actually be kind of intimidated, because back home where I come from, people are not that open. Like, you're a foreigner, you're crazy. They won't just be all nice and friendly to you just because you're a foreigner. No, you have to find a way to communicate and stuff. But that's one thing that was quite easy here for me, so I kind of appreciated that. But the tranquility and discipline is kind of like too much for me. Yeah, too much.
Yeah, the West African community, actually, they're very vibrant. They love dancing and everything. So maybe then when they come to this, for example, country where things probably are a little bit different, that's why you can feel the experience that Raisa is actually undergoing at the moment.
Seriously,
right?
New Year. I mean, New Year. No shooting stars. No boo, boo, boo. What's going on? Is it a funeral?
Okay. Definitely an amazing moments here that we are learning, and probably you can get a few things. If you have not come to Kigali, if you have not experienced the wonderful culture in Rwanda, this is a fabulous and fantastic moment for you to get this from the horse's mouths. People who have experienced this particular culture for the first time and how their experiences are actually undergoing. As we come close to this particular end, I want to know from you, Emmanuel, what are some of the advices you can give to people who are planning to come to Kigali?
Yeah, there is quite a lot of advices, but I'll just go into the main ones. So I think, like, if you're coming to Kigali or Rwanda in general for the first time, as I mentioned earlier, you need to be very open. I think Rwanda is one of the countries with very rich history, and it will be at your best interest to firstly explore the histories of Rwanda, know the origin, know where the country is currently, and then you come when you are well informed. And I think that will make it easy for you to integrate with the community here. Also, like for my friends, for my friend Raisa here and the West Africans people, always remember to bring a few spices from home. They help.
They come and spice the life here, the food here, right?
Come and spice it a little bit as you continue kind of adapting to the foods we have here. But yeah, basically the weather here is. We have been here for 8 months and I haven't seen a drastic change in weather. So yeah, it's kind of average. So don't come with a lot of heavy things. It's not gonna get that cold after all. But yeah, be open, be ready to learn. Everyone is a teacher, and learn by looking around, and always have trips around Rwanda. There's a lot of beautiful places that you can explore in this country. Yeah.
Wow, an amazing experience there, and advice for those who foresee themselves coming to Kigali and in Rwanda in general. Let me hear from Raisa.
Okay, for me, let me try to be very nice this time. So Kigali is a nice place. No, Rwanda as a whole. I've not visited the other regions though, so I'm talking about Kigali. Kigali is a very good place to visit, especially for those of you who want to go on a honeymoon, couple goal stuff. If you want some tranquility, you want some quiet, refreshing, calm place, environment to spend some time, or if you want to study, it's actually a good environment for studies, except for that food is expensive and clothes are expensive. But if you're coming to study, then it's good. It's a very good environment to study. I advise you to come. I urge you to come. You should come. And no need to worry about locations and getting missing, because that's something that will barely ever happen. I don't know the number of times I've left this residence and gone to a place I totally didn't know where it was, just with the address. As long as you have the address of the place you're going to and your Google Maps on your phone, type it down, start your directions, and you will get there. No complications, no problems. And yeah, come with your spices and your earphones, and keep your speakers in your room. Because if you play that loud music out there, boom, 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 and have a small party in your backyard and making noise all over the place, then the police are going to visit you and you might end up at the stadium.
Quite interesting advices that we are getting from my guest here today. And to wrap up this, we'd want to end this with a challenge.
Challenge?
Yeah. Let's know the number of words that you know in Kinyarwanda. We're going to have a challenge for this particular session, guys. And let's see from Emmanuel and Raisa, who's going to take the trophy home. Let's start from you.
No, wait. What if we know the same word?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What
if we know the same word?
They must be different. Let's see how unique and different
No,
you know the
that
words
would be
here.
unfair, because if I know a word and he knows a word, and I know 5 words and he knows those 5 words, then that wouldn't work.
Let's see how it goes.
No,
Emmanuel.
that would be fair.
Emmanuel, let's go.
Okay, wait, I have a suggestion. Because I seriously feel like I'm going to lose. So, Emmanuel tells you his word in your ear, discreetly, in a way I won't hear. And I tell you my word discreetly in a way he won't hear. And so if I repeat a word twice, then you know I'm out. And if he repeats the word, then he's out. But if I say a word here instead, then it's fair, right?
We want the public to judge by themselves, right?
Okay,
So,
I think this is not fair.
let's start with Emmanuel.
Why
Let's
are you
bring the
starting with
challenge
Emmanuel?
home.
Yeah, I have to admit my dictionary is not very full.
Then
I'm
start
still
with me.
developing
Start
it.
with me, please.
But let me start.
No. Start with me.
Okay, Raisa will start and then I'll follow after her.
Okay, Raisa, take the challenge.
The first word, Murakoze.
Oh, she took the one I knew.
That's the commonest word, please. I should go all at once.
Yeah, let's
Okay,
see.
Murakoze, Nangae. Do I know any other Kenyan? Wait, I'm gonna get this. How do these guys say good morning again? They say it every day and I don't even hear it.
Yeah, it's
Meze
becoming
fresh. They keep saying meze fresh all the time.
it's becoming challenging for
Yeah.
Raisa. Yeah, let's hear
And
from
on the third
Emmanuel.
word, and we. It's a Kinyarandan word.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
We have never had
I've
it.
been hearing it from my roommate, and I asked her, and she said it means yes. We
Not
is-
Diego.
We is a French word, and they use it in Rwanda too. Whenever she's answering her phone call, she's like, we. I got it. So I'm on the 4th word. I need a 5th word.
Accept the challenge.
And what if I remember the word later on?
Okay, we'll see about that. Let's go
Gosh,
to Emmanuel.
seriously, what am I learning?
I'm
Language
afraid,
for?
I'm afraid that Raisa kind of broke some of my words here. But all the same, there's bite.
What does bitter mean, man?
It's more of like, it's a form of greetings.
Uh.
Like, I think it's more of like, how are you or something like that. The other way of saying it, I just know versions of greetings. Of course, there's Amakuru,
That's what I
Nemeza,
was trying to remember all
right?
these
There's what Ndivyo, Sivyo. That's when you're saying yes and no, you'll say that.
Oh.
There's Mtima.
See,
There's what else? Actually, I've beat Raisa. I've already said 6 words.
Yeah, but that's okay, you know, because
Our
like,
viewers, let's
Swahili-
hope that these guys are not lying to us. We're gonna have to confirm this from our
Okay, look.
our Rwandan friend.
In order to make this
and-
easier, I forfeit because honestly, I've not even made an effort to learn Kinyarwanda.
Yeah, I challenge you when you come into a new country, try to see if you can learn the different languages that are in that country
Except
to
if
help
stop
you
biting your
ease
tongue.
ease your communications, right?
Yeah.
And I believe that as my guests leave this particular table here today, they're gonna strive to see how many words they can continue learning.
I'm only going to learn how to bargain in the market.
Yeah, for bargain, I think is also okay. As we wrap up, my viewers, it has been a pleasure hosting you. My name is Isaac Odhiambo, and we have undergone various issues that can affect you as a foreigner in a new country. And I hope you got to get and learn good lessons from what my guests have raised here today. It has been a pleasure hosting you, and see you next time. Bye-bye.